If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. I post a new Tom Brady video every day.
Last year on Selection Sunday, Drew Brees retired. This year on Selection Sunday, Tom Brady unretired. He is back. He will play his 23rd season as a member of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tom Brady will not retire, will return to Tampa. Here is Brady's tweet. These past 2 months, I've realized my place is still on the field and not in the stands. That time will come, but it is not now. I love my teammates, and I love my supportive family. They make it all possible. I'm coming back for my 23rd season in Tampa. Unfinished business, LFG. OMG.
Jalen Ramsey, thank you. Throw that last touchdown on somebody else. You can certainly understand some of these reactions.
I'm never going to say anything bad about Tom Brady. No.
Yeah.
It can keep going as long as he wants it to.
When you read the tea leaves, it didn't sound like it was the decision he was going to make. I think it was a decision made by his family, and specifically, I think, his wife. They wanted him to retire and spend more time with the family. And so, just like everybody else in the business, when you have a lot of time away, you're missed. When you have a lot of time around, they don't really miss you as much. And so I think in the end, they realized he can still play at a high level. He wants to play at a high level. So why not allow him to go play another year at least with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
And it's been 40 days since Tom Brady retired. And I think as he stepped back and reflected in his statement, he did not feel like the time was right now. And he certainly seemed to thank his family, which I think would help him along in this process and help usher him to this decision. He never stopped loving football. He never thought that he could stop playing football. But the fact of the matter is he was ready to walk away until he wasn't. And I think he stepped back and saw what would be ahead and decided in this particular situation that he wanted to continue playing. And we heard the Tampa Bay Buccaneers say at the Combine last week that they were going to leave the light on for Tom Brady. Leave the light on. Well, it's a good thing they left the lights on. Tom Brady found his way back in, and he'll be back with the Buccaneers this season.
Yeah, one other point is, they tried bringing the gang back together last year, and the problem was they did have injuries, and part of the reason was they had one of the oldest rosters in the National Football League. They made that decision after the Super Bowl, hey, we're going to bring the whole gang back together. But if you look at all the players that they brought back, and I'm not talking about the team age average because of Tom's age, I'm just talking about a number of the players that they were depending on being important parts of that team were injured, and a lot of that had to do with players that were injured and were older. So to me, if they keep talking about bringing the band back together, that may not be the smartest thing or the best thing to do.
And for people who are following this, he is 100% playing for Tampa or not at all next year. Is that correct?
That is correct, unless they wanted to trade him. But why would you trade him? He played at an MVP level last year. He will be back with the Bucs, and what it does for the Bucs, it makes them a contender again. They're in a bad division. They will win that division. And when you look at the quarterback situations of the other teams, Matt Ryan's an established guy, but that team is a little ways off. Carolina's a mess right now. New Orleans doesn't have a quarterback. So Tampa Bay, the clear favorite in that division. And not only that, they're one of the favorites in the NFC.
When you say one of, would you not make them the favorite in the NFC, or would it be Green Bay? I know the Rams won the Super Bowl this past year, but they had to go on the road. They did get some breaks, that kind of thing. I don't know who's going to play quarterback in San Francisco. Do we feel like, considering Russ has been traded out of there, that the two quarterbacks, it's Rodgers, it's Brady, and then there's a drop, and that those two guys may have one more? It's those two teams to go to the Super Bowl?
Well, I think on the surface, they're the two favorites. But the Rams are right there with them. I mean, depending on what they do and who comes back, I think the Rams are going to be in the mix. I mean, they still have their stars.
They're definitely going to try to get as many guys back as possible.
When you think about the landscape in the NFC 2 days ago, an hour ago, this looked like it was the Packers conference.
What?
No, but or the Rams. I'm sorry. Teams coming off the Super Bowl, but it seemed like there were two teams. Like Tampa was kind of disregarded. So I think now Tom Brady back into the mix, it kind of evens everything out once again.
Yeah.
So Tom Brady makes it official. He's coming back with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Man. You know what? We talked about this a lot, didn't we? There's so many hours in a day. You hang out with kids, you sleep, hang out with your wife, work out, call friends. There's still like 9 hours left. Tom's like, what am I going to do with those 9 hours? Oh, wait. Play football. Yeah. Didn't think it was a huge chance, but a little bit of a chance. And Tom decided, these days are long. You might as well fill them with the thing I'm really great at. Welcome back, Tom.
Gronk loves Tom. They have a great relationship. So to me, this is going to reinvigorate and energize Rob Gronkowski.
What was the Buccaneers' reaction? I know you said they left the light on for them. I mean in terms of whether they expected him actually to come back to the door.
Well, I don't think they expected it, but I think obviously they're quite pleased about it. Again, they didn't give up hope about it, but they didn't think it was realistic that he would be back and they were going to move ahead and move on. But obviously, Tom changed his mind, changed his feelings, and then obviously made the announcement here just a few minutes ago to say that he would be back for this upcoming season. And I know that Tampa Bay was heading into this free agent signing period, Reese, this week with 26 players to re-sign. And now you begin to look at it, all the players that are going to be back or that were scheduled to be free agents, I would imagine that some of them are all going to want to come back. Ryan Jensen, Tom Brady center, might have left were it not for Tom Brady's decision. Leonard Fournette is a running back who is scheduled to be a free agent this week. Maybe he would leave. Chris Godwin got the franchise tag. O.J. Howard's a tight end. And so you've got a bunch of players in Tampa who are scheduled to hit the market this week and could have entered into agreements at noon tomorrow, which I would imagine is one of the reasons that Tom announced his decision tonight, because he doesn't want many of these players that he's played with the last 2 years to leave, and he wanted them to know that he'll be back. Don't go anywhere. And that's his way of saying it here. Don't leave, I'll be back.
Are you surprised at all that it happens today? It is Selection Sunday, but, I mean, look, the NFL always is obviously king, and they don't care about what anybody else's schedule is. It's before the draft, which you know you wanted to do, and to let your team know that you're going to play before then. Is there any level of surprise that it's today?
No, it's also before the start of free agency. And if there were rumblings that they were investigating other quarterbacks, including Baker Mayfield, as well as, Deshaun Watson, whether they were going to get into that mix or not, who knows. But they were investigating other quarterbacks, and it's only fair that he makes a decision now. So if they went out and made a deal to go get one of those guys, then what happens when he decides to come back? So I think it was the right thing to do for Tom Brady. I think it was the right thing to do from a business standpoint for Tampa Bay to figure out who their quarterback was going to be.
When you retire, for a moment, you're able to take a deep breath.
Yeah.
What do you make, though, of this timeline? It almost feels...
No, it's about right. It's about a month to a month and a half where you're like, is this what I really want to do? Well, my kids are in studio, so...
Yeah.
But they were there. Like, I was like, yo, like, what is there to do today? Oh, I'm going to take you to school today. Okay, when do you get off school? Like, I think I got in trouble a couple times for my youngest one coming with me to do stuff because I was like, you don't need preschool, right? I need to hang out with somebody. So it's different, right? You got to remember the camaraderie in the locker room. That's what you forget. That's what you love, and your teammates and all those things. And then when you retire, there is no like, hey, we're going to wing you off this. It's just like cold turkey. So I get it. I understand. A lot of players, a lot of retired players go through this. Tom is just one of the lucky ones that his team was waiting for him to come back.
Well, I think Gronk is going to go back and play for Tampa Bay. As long as Tom Brady's throwing the football, I think that's a priority for him. He is a unrestricted free agent, so he can sign anywhere. But I think for him, it's pretty much he goes wherever Tom Brady goes. Now they have to try and figure out what they're going to do with Ryan Jensen. Their starting center is an unrestricted free agent. Their starting right guard, Alex Kappa, is an unrestricted free agent. They have guys on defense, Jason Pierre-Paul, also in that mix as well. Carlton Davis, their corner, will be leaving because they won't be able to keep him. But they're going to keep the nucleus together. I mean, when you look at it, Chris Godwin coming off the ACL, they tagged him. He'll be back. Mike Evans will be back. They have to figure out the running back game because Leonard Fournette is an unrestricted free agent. But this is still a talented, good football team. And I think they had a lot of injuries on defense last year that kind of played into them not being able to repeat. If they can stay healthy, they're going to be a contender again, and they'll certainly win that division.
There was a lot of conversation that he should have been the MVP last year. Obviously, Aaron Rodgers had a fantastic year as well. But there was nothing about his performance on the field. Forget what his age is. When you see somebody who's performing at that high of a level, it's hard to fathom walking away from that. And, and obviously they did not defend their Super Bowl title. But they still were in that game against the Rams, as you mentioned a moment ago. I think this team is still very close, and the NFC is still being sort of limited to a handful of teams that are at the top. I think this makes perfect sense.
Yeah, 40 seems like that magic number, right? 40 days since the retirement, last 2 seasons, at least 40-plus touchdowns thrown from Tom Brady. We are kind of getting to that point, Adam. Like, I get it. He's been an absolute monster in producing, where you start to say, hey, can this just continue on for another
Keep him
season?
upright. Don't let him get hit like they did last year, and then why not?
Tom Brady did a great job of explaining it in his tweets that he is coming back in Tampa Bay for a 23rd season, so all the rumors of him going elsewhere, that's not going to happen. As he said, he is going to play for the Bucs, and this is why the Buccaneers did not make an offer on Deshaun Watson. This is why, despite looking into a lot of different quarterbacks, they looked into Russell Wilson, they looked into Deshaun Watson, all sorts of different things, but they knew that there was a chance that Tom Brady would come back, and that's why Jason Light was pretty upfront and honest with us. He said he would leave the light on for Brady. Bruce Arians was pretty clear, saying Brady wasn't coming back to play for anyone else. They are both right. Tom Brady comes back to play for the Bucs, one of the shortest retirements in history, which Brady set a lot of records in his illustrious career. Setting the record for one of the shortest retirements obviously goes along with all of the other incredible things he has done. Anyway, most importantly, Tom Brady is back for 2022.
Well, I think they need to start thinking about how this is going to now impact their salary cap, right? Because when he was getting ready to retire, when that time came, they were waiting till the new year where they could push money around, and they were looking at the salary cap with different numbers. So to me, there's going to be a lot of salary cap maneuvering and understanding of things that they're going to have to do. Because remember, he did a big favor last year by putting an additional year on his contract so they could spread money out and lower his cap number. Now they're looking at a different set of math and books to make decisions moving forward.
Tom will be 45 years old at the start of the season.
That's it for this video. I post a new Tom Brady video every day, so please like and subscribe. That way you'll always have a new Tom Brady video to watch every single day.